Hi there, welcome to That Board Game Show. My name is James Wood, and today I'm going to show you Roll Camera, the Filmmaking Board Game by Malachi Ray Rempen, published by Keen Bean Studios. In Roll Camera, we are going to cooperatively work together to save a struggling film company who has been given one final chance to produce a successful film. If they fail this time round, well then that's it, game over for them. So what we're going to be doing to achieve that is we're going to be writing the script, we're going to be compiling the storyboard, we're going to be building the set, and we're going to be editing the film together. And everything we do will be increasing or decreasing the overall quality of our film. And our goal is to get the quality of our film out of this pink zone of mediocrity and either make it a roaring success, or you can also make it so terrible that it's good. You know, one of those famous movies that everybody knows is absolute rubbish, but we all love it anyway. Now, in gameplay terms, how this is going to be done is we are going to be rolling dice, which is going to represent the actions we can take each turn. And at the end of each turn, we're going to be passing this little budget and schedule dial, which is a very, very clever component because it is how you determine the difficulty and it is how you track the rounds. So how you determine the difficulty is you'll look on the back of it. You can set it to easy, normal, or hard, depending on the player count. So today I'm showing you a solo game, so I have it set down here on easy because I don't want to make life too tough on myself while I explain everything. And I just love how this is done like a little film reel. And you'll see as you set it on that side, when you then flip it over, that determines your starting budget and your starting schedule. So we have 11 rounds and 14, I'm going to say, $1 million, because $14 would not be enough to make even a cup of coffee on a film set, let alone a film itself. So we're going to pretend that each of those numbers stands for millions. And so we're going to have $14 million and 11 rounds, or days probably, to shoot and edit this film. I'm guessing, again, that's probably not days. Let's call that months. We'll give ourselves 11 months. We've got nearly a year to pull this film together. That's probably quite a generous schedule, but I've never worked in the actual film industry. I've just done this stuff. Okay, so that is how we determine our starting difficulty. And if you're playing with multiple players, you'll see on your turn, you are told exactly what to do. You are going to be drawing a problem card, then rolling your crew dice, which will determine the actions that you will be able to do, then assigning those dice to the actions that you want to do. Then you will clear any dice that aren't locked in place, and you'll see how that works momentarily. Then we advance the schedule, so it will tick down one step, and you will pass this budget and schedule dial to the next player clockwise. Now today, as I said, I'm playing solo, so I've just got one character here, which means I will simply be going through all the steps each and every turn by myself. There are multiple characters that you can choose from. We have the producer, the production designer, the star, the cinematographer, the director, and I believe that's it, yes, and the editor is who I'm playing today. And each character, each player board, has a special set of unique actions that is unique to that character. And then a little bit of fun element here to encourage some role play when you're doing this with a group. On your director over here, you may request that other players express their emotions more theatrically. Or on the other side, which has the same icons, it's just different art and a different player privilege. This one is, you may loudly shout, "Action!" whenever a scene is shot. Okay, so each of the different characters has one of those unique things. So those are being put back in the box today. They also each come with a reference card explaining how all of their actions work. And on the other side of that is the player aid, which explains all of the main actions that you can do on the main board. I've got my player aid for my editor, and I've got my regular player aid. And one final thing to look at is that at the beginning of the game, each player is given 3 of these idea cards, which, if you're playing multiplayer, you would keep those secret. And they are basically ideas that you can put forward during the game. And the reason you keep them secret is to mitigate the alpha gamer problem that can very often arise in cooperative games. You know, where someone at the table just takes over and starts running everybody's turn for them. So how this game mitigates that is by giving each player a hand of these cards, which, when you call a production meeting, each player plays one of their ideas face down, and then whoever is the active player, whoever has the budget and schedule dial in front of them, gets to choose which idea is executed. Now, playing solo and showing you how things work, I'm just going to put these face up so that I can easily reference them. And I will read how those work and what they do as we play them. And with that said, let's start playing, because I think that's the best way to show you how the game works, is to simply play out a few rounds and give you a feel for it. So the first thing we do on a turn is to draw a problem. So let's draw our first problem, which states, everything is going wrong at once. Oh dear, isn't that just typical? Whenever you resolve any other problem, immediately draw a new one. And now this problem card goes up here, and these problems will slowly tick over and linger and get harder and harder to resolve the longer they stick around. So this one by itself isn't a huge problem right now, but we will probably want to get rid of that at some point. Then the next step on our schedule is to roll the dice, then assign the dice, then clear the dice. So we will take our dice, we'll give them a roll, boom. And now we have these faces to work with. We have some lights, we have some actors, we have one camera. That's going to be a tricky film to shoot with just one camera. And we have this splash starburst thingy. That is a VFX symbol, and that is your wild die, basically representing all the magic stuff you can just do in post to fill in the gaps that you weren't able to actually practically do on set. So those are the dice we have to work with. And I should have said this already, but how you win the game is we need to shoot 5 scenes. So we have our editing room here, and these 5 scenes will represent our final film. If we can manage to do that before our time or budget run out, then we have won the game. If at any point we run out of money or time, then game over immediately, we instantly lose, and you can reset and play again. So, how we shoot scenes to get them over here into this editing room is we need to look at the configurations of dice that are required for the scenes over here. And we have to place those dice on our set. The rule is you can never place a die on a white space. You can only place your blue dice on blue spaces. So probably the first thing we want to do is we want to build a new set piece. And whenever you see this little equals sign, that means it has to be 2 of the same die face. And before we build a set piece or shoot a scene, let's look at a couple of our options. We have our script, which is going to increase the quality of our film based on how well we meet the criteria set forth. So at the moment, our working title for this film is Shockingly Outrageous Memories. In fact, let's show that to you a little bit closer. So you'll see the script is made up of 2 decks of cards. There are 5 cards in each, and there are more in the box. And the reason there's multiples is because there's a couple actions that allow you to change these as the game progresses. But for right now, our working script is Shockingly Outrageous Memories. And fortunately, the rulebook has a handy little reference guide here telling us what each of the colors represent. So green is dramatic, blue is tragic, red is violent, yellow is sentimental, and purple is comedic. So our Shockingly Outrageous Memories gives us 1 quality for every dramatic scene in our final film. And the memories gives us 3 quality for every set of 3 sentimental scenes in our final film. So if we can fill our entire film with just green and yellow cards, or dramatic and sentimental scenes, then we will get 5 additional quality in our final film. Now that might be a little tricky because currently everything on our storyboard is red, purple, and blue, or comedic, tragic, and violent. So that's not going to make a very shockingly outrageous memory film. So we might want to try change the script. That's one option, depending on the cards we have. Or we might want to try and cycle out some of these scenes out of the storyboard, throw them away, and start writing up some new ones. Let's start by building out some set pieces, because we need set pieces on the board to be able to shoot any scenes. Now you'll see on the storyboard cards themselves that they also have this little star symbol. So shooting scenes, this is clearly a very high action, high intensity, high quality scene. So if we can manage to shoot that and put it in our film, it will give us 2 quality on our quality track over here as we film it. So that can sort of counteract the fact that we might not get these bonuses. We can still do well with just shooting a bunch of scenes here. I'm going to start by building out the set. Let's do that. I'm going to use 2 lights, so 2 of the same die. I need to spend 1 budget, so I come to my budget wheel and I tap it down, zink, down to 13. Then I can take either of these set pieces, and again, you see the little starburst, so that is a quality indicator. If you use that piece of the set when shooting a scene, then you get an additional quality. So it doesn't really matter, these 2 are identical, so let's just take this one, and now you'll see it's revealed another one that gives us some more spaces to work with. And I need to place this such that I can shoot one of these scenes, possibly. That one's going to be very hard, so let's maybe shoot for this one. So let's put this over there, like so. Because now I could put another piece over there later and another piece over here. So let's just do that right now, I think, because you'll see we've now placed 2 dice over there. So that space is now locked off. But I have this idea which says I can build the set out of toilet paper tubes and hot glue. We can build 1 set piece for free. And basically it means I can build 2 set pieces on a single turn. So I want to play this idea. And so I'll take any die. You can just play any 1 die down here to do that. And what die am I not going to need? Let's take one of these actors. And now how it would work if I was playing with more players. Each player, up to 3, would choose an idea card from their hand and play it face down into the middle of the table. We'd then shuffle them up so we don't know who presented which idea, and then reveal them all. Now how that is simulated in a solo game is I will present the idea I want to play, and then we draw 2 random ideas from the deck. So I could potentially choose one of the other ideas that was presented. Now, at no point in a multiplayer game can you say exactly what your idea cards are, but you can, if you're not the active player, you're not assigning the dice, you can suggest, you can say, I have a great idea. Basically to say, I have a card that I think we need to play now. That's then telling the active player that you think that they need to call a production meeting so that we can discuss this great idea you've just had. So let's look at the great ideas that have been presented. If we see this symbol, that is a 2+, so that is discarded if you're playing with less than 2 players. So playing solo today, that idea simply gets discarded. And we reveal another one. Now I can choose one of these to play right now. We can build 1 set for free. We can resolve any 1 problem, then gain 1 quality. That could be quite nice to just make this problem go away. Or if you haven't shot a scene this turn, gain $2. You cannot shoot any scenes this turn. Okay, well I wasn't going to be shooting any scenes this turn anyway. So now here's a problem. I like all 3 of these, but I can only play 1 of them, and I can save 1 of them for later. That's what this space over here is for. You can save up to 2 ideas on your to-do list to execute at a later time. So once an idea is here or here, you can place your dice on these spaces to play that idea. But right now, I can play one, I can save one, and then we're going to discard one. So I think I'm going to stick with my original plan. I'm going to play this one to build one set piece for free. And then I'll decide on those momentarily. So let's just build a set piece. If I want to work towards this one, I think we're going to need this. And I'm going to put it like that, which might be a problem later, but that's a problem for another day. Then I think I'm going to save this idea for later because it's always good to have a way to get some money back. So I'm going to save that over there, and this one gets discarded. Then after the production meeting, everybody who played a card gets one more. And I reference everybody who played a card because if you're playing with 4 players, you still only ever play 3 idea cards. So basically, you will always have 3 ideas presented to choose from. 1 to play, 1 to save, 1 to discard. So if you're playing with 2 players, each player presents an idea and then you draw a random 1 from the deck. Playing solo, you just saw how that resolves. Playing 3 players, each player plays a card. And if you're playing 4 players, then you will need to choose out of the 4 people which 3 of them are going to play a card. Okay, we still have these 3 dice left over. So I think I'm going to resolve this problem up here. So I'm going to put 2 dice up there and resolve that. And you'll see here they're not connected, so that can just be any 2 dice. When you resolve a problem, it gets tucked over here in this resolved section. And once we have 5 of those, we can either get 2 money or gain an extra round on our schedule. Now, I have 1 die left over. There's a couple things I can do with just 1 die. You can call a production meeting, but that is now blocked. I can come to my personal player board here, and this says refresh, which I am told on my player aid how that works. I can discard 1 idea card from your hand to draw another to replace it. So it's a way for the editor to just keep spewing forth new ideas. He also has this option to playback, which can be done with just 1 die, or you can use 2. So what this cut in half symbol here means is that if I want to play just 1 die over here to do this, which is to go through the top 5 cards in the idea discard pile and play one of them, if I use just 1 die, I will lose 1 quality. Or I can use 2 dice there and then we don't lose the quality. And that's the same effect as these 2 over here. So if I wanted to play this idea, I could place 1 die here, lose 1 money, and play the idea card. Or I could play 2 dice and not lose the money. And then this one is the same as that one where you lose 1 quality. The other option with a single die is to come over to this get an intern space. And this allows you to set any unused die to any face. So with only 1 die left over, that's kind of useless. But if I had a couple dice and I needed a very specific face, I could always do that. But you'll see that it's got this +1 problem card because interns on set, while helpful, can also sometimes cause more problems than they solve because they don't necessarily know what they're doing. Okay, so. Let's see, one final action that we can look at is on my editor board. I've got re-edit. I can send 2 dice there, and that will allow me to change the placement of scene cards in the editing room however you like. This action is not available until there is at least 1 scene in the editing room, naturally. And the reason you'd want to do that is some of these script cards need you to have specific scenes in very specific places in the editing room. So if it turns out that you shot a scene out of sequence, you needed this purple comedic scene to be in scene 2, but you shot it first, then you can use the editor over here to move it down into scene 2. But we can't do that right now. That is a thing for the future. So I'm just going to place this VFX die in the middle because that is in place for this card. Now, it so happens that I am building this as it is shown on the card, but something that is important to remember is you can orient these any way you like. So you can have it like that, you could have it like that, you could have it like that, or you could have it like that. The only rule is you can never mirror what you see here. So I couldn't have it with these three and then the light there, the light there and the microphone there. That wouldn't be allowed. So that is the end of my turn. I have used up all of my dice. We now look at our turn sequence and we clear the dice that were used. So we take any dice off action spaces, ready to roll again. But any dice on the set are left there. They are now locked in place until the next player's turn. And now on the next player's turn, you may choose to re-roll any locked dice. We will advance the production schedule one step. We now have 10 rounds remaining. Pass that to the next player, or back to me, and we start at the top again. Draw a problem card. The storyboard artist drew all the storyboards in invisible ink. Oh dear. They were being a little bit too clever for themselves. At the end of each turn, discard all scenes in the storyboard and draw new scenes to replace them. Aha! Now, I've been working towards this card, but this could actually be helpful because it might reveal the types of scenes we actually want. So what might be a smart idea is to leave that problem lying around, let that problem be resolved at the end of the round, do other things so that we can refresh our storyboard. I think I like that idea. So we now roll the crew dice. Oh, we have a bunch of wilds, 2 microphones and a light. Okay, well we could build another set piece. We could use these 2 microphones to build a set piece. Let's get this one in. This one's got a quality symbol, but it's more restrictive. So I'm going to get this one in here. And let's put it something like that, I think. Or maybe up there. Now, we can cover that up if we wanted to. But I think I'm just going to do it. Yeah, see, the tricky thing is placing it right now. I don't exactly know where it needs to go. So I'm just going to put it there for now. That is going to cost me 1 of my budget. I'm not going to be shooting a scene, so maybe I should do this one. I'm going to put 2 dice down here. Boom, boom. If you haven't shot a scene this turn, gain 2 budget. I'm going to get 1, 2 of my budget. That is now played. And then this one I can probably use either to refresh, jettison one of these idea cards. So let's look at what our idea cards are and if I want to use them. We have use cool old-fashioned practical effects instead of CGI. This turn gain 1 quality for each VFX used when shooting a scene. Okay, so you're using practical VFX instead of digital. Interesting. We can lose 1 time to gain 3 money. We don't want to do that right now because look at our budget and time dials. They are not exactly balanced out and we need more time, not more budget at this stage. And then this one is put 1 unused die aside. It is unavailable for this turn and the next turn and gain 3 money. Okay, so I think those 2 gain 3 money ones are not super helpful. So I'm going to use this final die on my refresh special action. And I'm going to discard this one because I don't like losing time. Time is too valuable to throw it away. That one is shoot with a super sensitive satellite lens. This turn you may ignore 1 camera or light requirement on a scene when shooting. Well, that's rather handy. I will refresh dice. I will advance the schedule. Bong, we now have 9 turns remaining. We will draw a problem card, but first this one will slide over. So it's gotten a little bit tougher to resolve. We now have to have 2 of the same die to fix that. And we have Someone spilled film developing fluid and now everyone's all loopy on fumes. Oh dear. The crew is having a little party. Put a blocked token over the production meeting action. That action cannot be taken because nobody is thinking straight, so we can't have a sensible meeting. So production meeting action is now blocked and will remain so until we resolve that problem. And before I drew that problem, I was meant to deal with this one. At the end of each turn, discard all of these. So we're going to discard that and that and that. And we reveal 3 new ones. And that is a lot better. Now we want to resolve that problem because we do not want these 3 going away because they are exactly what we need for our script. Now we roll the dice. Roly, roly, roly. And let's see what we can do here. Okay, so we might need to shuffle our set around a bit. If I can put one more piece there, then I can shoot this scene by leaving this die in place. I am going to use 2 dice that are the same. We'll use we'll use a light and a wild. Boom. We will spend 1 of our budget. Boom. And we'll build this set piece over here. Now I could have used that one for this scene, but I figured let's rather get a set piece in that gives us a bit more flexibility for these later scenes. Then I think I've got what I need to shoot this right now. So this is standing in for that camera. We can put our microphone over there, our actor over there, and I can't do it because now I've got a microphone left over. That's no good. So we'll still put the actor there. We'll remove the microphone. We won't put that there just yet. And we'll use these 2 microphones to resolve that problem so that these don't disappear. That's what we need to do. So that is resolved. Boom. We tuck that in there. We are done. We still can't have production meetings until that problem goes away. That is the end of turn. Refresh the dice. Those ones stay locked in place. Advance the schedule. Gong, down to 8 rounds left. So we've spent 4 rounds so far and we haven't shot a single scene. But that's how filmmaking goes. It can sometimes take months before you actually click record on the first scene of your film. We will draw a new problem. And the lead actor rented themselves a private diamond-studded hot tub limousine. You know how lead actors can be. At the end of each turn, lose 1 money. Oh no. Oh dear, we need to confiscate that diamond-studded hot tub limousine from him because that is costing us too much money. So we might need to send some dice over there to focus on problem solving this round, because not being able to do production ideas is a bit of a nuisance. But that is a problem for shortly. We need to roll the dice first and see what we can do. I really want to shoot a scene, and I can't do that with those dice because none of them are microphones. So this is where I could use this get an intern space to use one of these lights to turn another die into a microphone, and then I would have what I need to shoot this. I'm actually going to do that. Now, I probably wouldn't do this in a real game, but for demonstration purposes, I want to show you as much as possible. So let's take a light. I'm going to hire an intern. I'm going to set this camera to a microphone. Boom. Now we have to draw a new problem, which means these slide over. And we have the producer hired mob goons to help with the production's problems. Yeah, you see, he caught wind of this diamond-studded limousine and he hired some goons to go bonk the lead actor on the head. Which probably isn't a great idea. You can't really have a lead actor with concussion. But oh well, he went a little bit overboard. Resolving problems, including this one, costs $1 in addition to other costs, or 1 money, or one unit of money. And now, our problem queue is full. And if we were to solve one of these problems, let's say we solved this one, these ones stay where they are. They never slide back, as we're shown on the little arrows here. They always move across, and then once they're in one of these spaces to the right, they stay there until they are resolved. But the other thing is, as long as there are 3 problems there, in subsequent turns you will not draw a problem card because there's not space for another one to be put in. You'll continue dealing with the problems that are already there, and you cannot do any actions that require drawing a problem card, like hiring an intern. That is all a problem for later. Right now I'm going to shoot a scene. I'm going to use this VFX here. We're going to have a CGI actor, or maybe it's a puppet, who knows. And then we're going to put a microphone there. We have now put everything we need in place to shoot this scene. So we will pay 4 money. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we will gain 1 time. That's jolly good. And you will see the further down the queue here, the cheaper it gets to shoot the scenes. But this middle one is really where you want to shoot for because it costs 3 and it doesn't have any negative effect. This one only costs 2, but you lose a quality whenever you shoot a scene down there because you rush it, you push it through the production a little bit too fast. So the quality isn't quite up to standard. So now we will take this scene, and this is pure flavor text, but we'll show you anyway. All of the scene cards have little cue markers that are based in actual filmmaking vernacular. So we have here scene number, what is this, 27C. And we have little shorthand here. I'm not sure if you can make it out. Yellow probably wasn't the best card to demonstrate this with. But we have EXT, that represents exterior, night, and then in brackets, studio, question mark, because maybe we'll shoot this in the studio. Not sure yet. Okay, then we have FS Master 24mm, so that means full shot, as in a nice wide full scene shot. Master and 24mm, I can't remember what master is for, but probably a master shot, like this is one of the key shots of the film. And then a little lighting note here, white moonlight, and then in brackets, not blue. The director does not want blue moonlight, we want white moonlight. So every single scene has those little references. And the fun thing is that's all based in actual filmmaking vernacular and technical terms and shorthand and everything. So now we'll take this scene that we've just shot, number 27C, we will flip it over to its shot side, and we will place it in scene 1. And we have just shot our first scene of this film. Huzzah! And it's a yellow one, and now we just need 2 more yellow ones, and we've got that goal. Although considering we have an entire run of greens here, I might give up on shooting yellows and just shoot the rest of the film with dramatic scenes. So we start a little bit sentimental and then it will turn very dramatic very fast. Now I have 1 die left over. I have no ideas in my to-do list. I could go here, lose a quality and play one of these ideas from the discard pile. Or I could refresh one of my ideas to get something new into the works, because unfortunately I can't go resolve any of those problems. But I'm actually going to leave it there. I'm not going to play that final die. I am going to wrap up production on this little gameplay today, because you've now seen everything there is to see. You've seen shooting scenes. You haven't seen me gain any quality. So as the game progresses, each time you gain quality with one of these, you'll be ticking this up and eventually getting your film hopefully out of the pink zone of mediocrity. But that will take me a while, and I don't think you need to watch me do that over and over and over, going through all the same steps. You've seen all the main actions, and I think that gives you a good sense of this game and how it plays, and if it's one that you think you would enjoy. So with that said, I shall say thank you ever so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the show. And remember to spread the joy of tabletop gaming.